As we are all aware, our planet is undergoing dramatic transformations due to climate change, and the consequences of this reach all corners of the globe and pose significant challenges on the Earth ecosystem and human societies. Human activities have been the main driver of climate change, and to avoid a climate disaster, we need to implement sustainable practices on a large scale, which is why we need to closely monitor the behavior of large entities that have a profound impact on the climate, such as corporations and industry associations. This is where InfluenceMap comes in. Hi everyone, I'm Sara, and for my fellowship project, I helped InfluenceMap with finding an automated way to flag corporate engagement with respect to climate change policies. InfluenceMap is an independent think tank that gathers a variety of information from different sources, such as website, media reports, consultations, and more, and provides an evidence-based characterization of corporate engagement. They report everything on their online platform, and this important information is then used to inform investors, inform the media, and push companies towards positive change. So how does this work exactly? At InfluenceMap, expert policy analysts review evidence documents and score each piece of evidence according to benchmark policy guidelines in line with the objectives of the Paris Agreement. In addition to this, the analyst can flag evidence that is deemed of particular importance, either in a positive or a negative way. So my project focused specifically on this flagging procedure, which poses a challenge for InfluenceMap for the following reason. A piece of evidence needs to be flagged as positive or negative if it shows a strategic engagement towards or against climate policies. However, this is currently a highly subjective decision based on the qualitative assessment of each single analyst, with each analyst having different expertise in a specific sector, which means that the importance of this procedure gets a bit lost among all other duties, whereas it would be highly beneficial for InfluenceMap to be able to properly highlight the most engaged or the most obstructive companies. Therefore, the aim of the project was to find a model that could perform this flagging procedure, starting from the available text evidence, so using natural language processing, and provide the analysts with a result that they could then be able to report and use. We framed this as a classification problem in which the model would learn from the available data that have been already flagged or not flagged by the policy analyst and return either a positive flag, a negative flag, or a neutral flag, so no flag, if the evidence is not strong or important enough. The complication related with this project was mainly the limited availability of flagged text evidence, which is by definition quite rare in proportion to the more neutral or less impactful evidence, especially in the case of positive engagement, unfortunately. So after exploring a few options among Hugging-Face transformers and large language models from OpenAI, I selected BERT for this task. BERT is part of the transformers family and is able to capture the meaning and context of text data, and so is a very powerful tool to perform text classification and sentiment analysis. So beyond fine-tuning and optimizing BERT for this classification, I also explored and implemented a number of approaches to solve the class imbalance issue. Specifically, I used downsampling of the non-flagged data, meaning I took out some of those data to reduce their number. Data augmentation, so I prompted GPT 3.5 to generate synthetic data for the positive and negative flags using the original text as example. And finally, I trained BERT using class weighting as well, meaning that the model paid more attention to the underrepresented classes, so in this case, the positive and negative flags. So the results from the evaluation of the model showed that out of the total number of data for each flag, we could correctly classify 89% of the positive flags, 84% of the neutral data, and 80% of the negative flags. In terms of impact, in this project, I provided InfluenceMap with a standardized and objective approach that gives consistency and reliability to a very qualitative process. Importantly, InfluenceMap can now leverage this information to push for better policies more efficiently. More generally, this type of work is applicable to any situation requiring the assessment and understanding of text data, even when these data are scarcely available or imbalanced. Thank you very much for listening.